chefs have been going head-to-head for the chance to try and beat this man right here. And tonight, he's back with a special holiday edition of the hit Food Network series. But first, he's serving us one of his favorite recipes from his new restaurant in Las Vegas. When's that open up? Next month?
It opens in the third week of December.
And it's at Caesars?
It's at Caesars. Brasserie B, it's called.
Brasserie B. So if you're in Vegas, check that out. Bobby, always good to see you, Chef. Thanks for being here. By the way, we were talking about Triple Threat, your other new show. I don't know how many shows you have on the Food Network, but Triple Threat's great.
Thank you so much. I'm really proud of it. We actually just got picked up for our third season.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's Chef Bobby Flay. He's got these 3 chef titans that he handpicked, and it's shot. It looks like a James Bond movie. Check it out if you haven't. Let's talk about the ribeye, though. This is just a classic.
Thank you,
meal.
Carson. That was so
nice.
nice.
I love it.
Appreciate that. Ribeye steak.
Yeah.
Okay. This is, if you ask most chefs, they'll tell you that this is the cut of steak that they like. Because basically it has a lot of fat in it and it creates a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
That's sort of the idea. One of the things you asked me backstage was, how do I get this at home to look like a restaurant steak?
Right.
Well, what I do is, first of all, I season it very liberally with salt and pepper on both sides, but then I make a spice rub. And this spice rub is very, very simple. It's like mustard, paprika, maybe a little chili powder, some dried herbs, some salt and pepper. And then, as you can see, I already have my cast iron pan. And I love using cast iron pan at home because it really holds the heat.
But people think this rub is really about flavor in the bite that you're eating, but this is really how you're creating a crust. And that's part of that restaurant look.
Exactly. I'm doing 2 things. I'm creating lots of flavor, of course, because I want to enhance. And you notice I'm only putting it on one side because I still want to taste the beef. I mean, you spend a lot of money on a good quality piece of beef. So I just want to enhance the flavor of it. But it's also, as you said, really getting in there and creating that crust on the outside. And contrast of texture is really, really important when it comes to steak. What you don't want is a gray steak. You want a nice, crusty, golden brown steak on the outside.
These are 2-inch thick. These are very large. If I cook these, I'd be so worried about getting that internal right because it's so thick.
Right.
That you're going to bake this off at some point, right? Is that a safe thing to do?
Yes. Use your oven as your friend. Put your oven at like 400 degrees. Preheat it. Sear it on one side. Turn it. And then put it in the oven and let it cook through.
But ultimately, you're just going to check with the thermometers. Anybody can do it once you hit like 130 internal.
130, 135, something like that. I want the fat to melt a little bit more than most people just because I just think it makes the steak really juicy.
Hey, Bobby, should you let the steak rest to get to room temperature?
Yes,
before you...
absolutely.
Before, yeah.
Well, not quite the room temperature, but you definitely want the steak to rest because you want the juices to kind of chill out a little bit because once you slice the steak, you're going to if the juices are too hot, they're going to run. So you want them to cool down.
What do you got here?
We got some blue cheese butter. Blue cheese and steak go really well together. So we got some blue cheese and some butter.
I mean, everybody has a steak frites probably on their menu, but this is what separates yours. This is delicious.
This is going to be the flavor at Brasserie B for sure. Whoops. Anyway, blue cheese butter.
Gets everybody.
I love live television. It's 2 ingredients, everybody. Blue cheese, butter, salt, and pepper.
That's going to bother me.
We need an electrician. Here he is, Carson. Yeah.
All
right.
Job.
So we're going to do some fries.
All right.
So I have some potato. Now, the real way to make the classic Parisian French fries, it's actually like it's a 2-step process. You cut the fries first into the shape of French fries, and then you soak the fries overnight to get the starch off.
Pro tip.
This is a big deal. You can't you just can't take fries that you've cut and throw them in the fryer. They're going to be soggy.
Right.
Okay? So what you want to do is you want to soak them, get the starch off, damp them dry, and then put them in a lower temperature oil, 300, 325. And it just kind of softens the fries, but it doesn't actually brown them.
Okay.
Let them cool off, and then when you're ready to eat them, you turn it up to 375, and you throw them into the cooking oil, and then they brown. So it's a 2-step process.
Is there a potato you like better than one?
Idaho russet potatoes, those work the best.
We'll have less than a minute, but show me the carving so people can see this at home. This is a non-bone-in filet, but what's the deal?
No, ribeye.
Ribeye, rather, across the grain.
So I go straight down like this.
And you don't care about, you're not taking the fat collar off and just getting to the cap.
If there's a lot of fat, like there's a piece of fat down here, I might take this off, okay? But this is the cap, which is to me the most flavorful. This is delicious,
right,
okay?
That's the money bite.
Right, and then you have the eye of the steak here, and I just slice it down. And you want to make sort of like an inch or maybe 3/4 of an inch slice, and there you go. Just like that.
I mean, this is
blue
delicious.
cheese butter, fries. I mean, this is like the classic steakhouse, the French steakhouse meal.
Yep.
Bobby, thanks as always. Today.com/foods got the recipe. Don't forget to check out Beat Bobby Flay, the holiday throwdown. A lot of holiday stuff going on. That is tonight on Food Network.
Yeah, check it out.
And Brasserie B. If you're in Vegas, go to Caesars and check that out. Triple Threat. Also watch that. Very good. You're not going to waste your time on that one.
Ribeye. This is the new fillet. It's a chef's dream. It's got this wonderful casing of fat separating the chain and the ribeye. So as it cooks, this fat just imparts more and more flavour. It just melts in your mouth. Delicious.
Wrap.
Nice and tight. Set that in the fridge, and when I come to cut my portions, they're exact, they're the same size, and more importantly, I haven't wasted anything. Fridge. Artichokes. Look, they're nice and firm. They've got this really nice sort of celeriac stroke nutty flavour to them. This time of year, perfect.
Yeah.
Cut off the stalks.
Remove leaves.
You know when to stop, when you start seeing that really nice, light, coloured leaf inside. Take your knife and then just peel down through the stalk. Now, that's your artichoke, prepped.
Lemon.
That stops them from oxidising, basically going brown. And just cut them in half. Look at that. That's the beautiful celebration of spring.
Water. Lemons. Salt. White wine vinegar. Pepper. Olive oil.
Watch. Let the knife do the work, and look at that. That is beautiful.
Hot pan.
Cooking the ribeye, you've got to be quick.
Olive oil. Salt. Pepper.
Get all that seasoning soaking up. Now look at that, beautiful.
Garlic. Crush. Rosemary.
Into the pan. That's the noise you want to hear, that sizzling. If you haven't got that, get it back out of the pan. Look at that colour there. Absolutely phenomenal.
Butter.
And this is where it starts to take the steak to a different level. This butter is really bringing out the texture and the flavour of the meat. Out onto a plate and just leave it to rest.
Griddle. Olive oil.
Take out your artichokes, salt and pepper into the griddle pan. Perfect. Turn them over. Artichokes off.
Carve.
And that is a dream come true.
Ribeye of beef. Griddled artichokes.